Alright, back for another Blind Legacy League match. Let's see if we can find something new. Pardon me. This hand looks like a keep. We've got Force of Will, Removal, Brainstorm. Just a pretty solid hand generally. Let's see on Delta. There's an off chance we want to Brainstorm. Leading on Badlands makes me think this is black-red, but could also be, I guess, Grixis Control, or maybe Tess, something like this. It's unclear. Our opponent is thinking long and hard about their choices. Lotus Petal. Alright, starting to look like black-red. Starting to look like either black-red or Test. We'll see what they imprint. Brainstorm. Okay, this looks like Test to me. Okay, so we're going to have to counter a ritual here so we don't get goblined on. Now, if they have another ritual, we look silly, but if we prevented them from going goblins this turn, this is very good, and it looks like that's exactly what happened. Okay. I don't usually like Liliana in post-board games, but she's actually pretty decent in pre-board games where you have a bunch of bad cards in your deck. Like Fatal Push, for example. Infernal Tutor. They did have the empty. They also had the Infernal Tutor. Crazy. Yeah, that's fine. We can. I imagine they'll get Ad Nauseam, and this will use their resources, and we can counter the Ad Nauseam. Yeah. So we just made them use 2 extra petals because they didn't. I don't think they had another empty to go get anyway. So I don't think this is like a super great Liliana or anything, but it'll pressure them to like devote resources to the board, and we're just like giving them a life every time. Not a huge deal when they've already used so much. Okay, Baleful Strix. I think I want to just keep upticking Liliana. I do want to ultimate it eventually, just like take half of their mana away. Yeah, game 1, these combo decks are not good matchups, but what you need to remember to do when you're playing these matchups is to really just like give yourself the best chance you can of winning. Like that play of playing out all that stuff into Rite of Flame screamed Empty the Warrens to me, so I had to counter the ritual. And then it also meant that they didn't have enough mana to do everything that they wanted to do, which is good. But we also just sort of we got a little bit lucky as well. I want to play the Spell Bomb, and I'm going to keep upticking this Liliana for now. It's basically free. It's like using a little bit of our mana and giving them a little bit of life, but that's not a big deal. When we ultimate, it would be really nice if we could make them keep the Chrome Mox, and then we can kill the Chrome Mox. That'd be pretty sweet. Pipe Dream, but that's the goal. And even though I could be discarding this Fatal Push, I think it's fine to just keep discarding the Punishing Fire. It's very hard for this deck to go off with one card after you've eaten their Ad Nauseam and you have a Spellbomb in play. Very, very difficult. And we're just going to keep eating at their hand. We will ultimate eventually, like once they play out another permanent, we'll eat everything, or we'll eat half of it, but until then, we're just going to keep making them try to win with one card, and I don't think that they really have the ability to do that without Ad Nauseam in their deck. Sure. Take Force, and then we will separate like so. So this will either get rid of their blue mana or 2 Badlands. Either way, this is fine with us. And then we can decay this thing. We're going to fetch a Volcanic here so that we can decay and still return the Punishing Fire. Which is a common play pattern. If you need to cast a green spell, make sure you leave up a red so that you can return Punishing Fires. Yeah, and now we got rid of 3 of their mana there. We're very far ahead, and we're going to pull further ahead when we get to play the Slavefold. It's kind of funny. We can use this in their draw step to like just make them discard a spell. It's kind of cool. I don't know that it'll come down to ultimating Lily again, but you know, just in case. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna cool it on the Liliana upticking, and I'm just gonna getting damage. And I'll throw a draw step Triumph at them. This game has gone very well for us. I want to get another red source here. I think just another Volcanic, so that I can start throwing lots of Punishing Fires. It's a pretty good one. I'll draw step Liliana's Triumph again. Just make them waste their draw. So 6, I can put them to low, but not quite that. I put them to 3. Okay, so in this matchup, it's similar to Ant, but you want Hydroblast also. So we want all of these cards. Surgical Extraction and Spellbomb are not as good against Tess as they are against Ant, but they're still passable. And you definitely want the Sweeper. So we bring in a cool 13 cards. Don't want most of the removal, and I think I actually cut all of the Baleful Strix too in this matchup. And then, like I said, I don't like Liliana in post-war games, so yeah, it looks something like this. And it's not like you might look at me bringing in 13 cards and be like, oh man, you're so like overboarding for Storm, but like look at these cards. Discard spells are just generically strong. Pyroblast is generically strong. Pulsa Marasa, no one even understands that this is a Storm card. Like you bring this in as like cancel to Infernal Tutor. It's not great, but it's better than like a bunch of this nonsense. A Sweeper, a Coal against Command, like these are like very widely usable cards. I think actually I've got one more Growth and play another blue card. That just I happen to like against Storm. It's not like I'm choosing these cards with Storm in mind. I don't think it's very common in paper. It's fairly common online though. I realize I haven't made an Ant video yet, so this is actually probably want access to Deed. So this is the first Storm deck that I've played against online for this series. And this is definitely the more rare of the Storm decks. I expect they'll take Brainstorm, but they might take Spell Pierce. Maybe they'll take Narset if their hand is super slow. There's not a lot of test hands that are super slow when I take Spell Pierce. Interesting. Okay, so my mana is not very good, and it would have been worse if they took Brainstorm, so I'm kind of happy that they just chose against taking Brainstorm. I know Ant tends to play Flusterstorm in the sideboard, but I'm not sure about Tess. Okay, so let's throw back Pulse of Murasa, and I don't really want to throw back. I guess Deed, maybe, and then I can get Badlands. In case I want to cast Dack, cast Inquisition here. Yeah, I think this is the best way to do it. Echoing Truth. Okay, Dark Ritual is the best card here. Chrome Mox is like self-hymned to Turok, so I almost never take Chrome Mox. Okay, so if they start randomly playing up Petals, it's bad news for us, but if they don't, then it's fine. Alright, let's play Narset. I don't really want a Snapcaster just yet. I just want to get this card on the board. Whew. These are all strong. I think I'll take Hydroblast. Countering Burning Wish is a pretty big deal. Them knowing about it, obviously not as good, but like, Hydroblast is pretty good against Tess. Not very good against Ant. I don't bring it against Ant. Maybe if there was like a more common Burning Ant list, then I would do something like that, but as is. Alright. So we still know a good chunk of their hand. This is not too dangerous for us. It'd be really nice to draw another land so that we can snap Inquisition and Hydroblast, but it may or may not be happening. That's a big game. Let's Narset, and we will take Surgical Extraction, I guess, and then we will Snapcaster Inquisition. And it's very possible that we like take Lotus Petal, extract Lotus Petal, something like that. Because, like I said, this is not as much a graveyard deck as Ant is. Like, Ant plays like 2 Past in Flames, and they never are like Burning Wishing for it. This deck plays... Yeah, none of these cards are like super exciting to take, but if I take the Petals here, then they can't easily like empty, and also this will give me a little bit of information about what they're doing, what their deck looks like. Okay, so this is fairly standard. Hope of Ghirapur, 1 empty, 4 Burning Wish, ad nauseum. So they're a ways away from getting anywhere, and they can't easily cantrip because of Narset, so I like our spot. Oops, they have 2 Chrome Mox. Unfortunately, we have no castable spells, but that's okay. Or no, well, we can cast Hydroblast. We don't really want to right now. I should really get the other version of it, because I have all of the other versions of Pyroblast. What is it, Ice Age Pyroblasts? Coin Truth, and I imagine another Chrome Mox, and this is probably just like an empty for 6 or something. And we'll counter 1 copy, so they'll get 4 dudes. And I think that we will largely be able to beat 4 goblins. Let's get a Bayou. And let's play Jace. And plus target ourselves. I'm not worried about any particular card from them. Baleful Strix is fine. It's kind of funny that I cut Baleful Strix because I think that's the only Baleful Strix in our deck, right? Yeah. Oh wow, they're going face. No respect for Jace. Okay. We're gonna hopefully cast Pulse of Murasa here. I guess as long as we have Narset, like Notion Thief is not extremely meaningful, so. Okay. Well, they would take Pulse of Murasa here, so I'm just gonna get a land, gain the life, make it so they can't really kill me. We're hiding Notion Thief. So if they kill Narset, that doesn't mean that their cantrips are going to be live, and they might think that. Wow, this is very aggressive. Let's get a Volcanic here. Ponder. I guess I probably want Force Will. It's not like that great here, but whatever. I wonder if they that's probably okay. I'm just gonna force this actually. Force of Will on Burning Wish actually has a really nice upside of allowing you to search Boulder Burning Wish, which you can't normally because it exiles on resolution. Okay, so they're going after Narset and B. That's fine. Let's Thoughtseize. Not that excited about taking Chrome Mox, but whatever. Alright, here's, yeah, we'll just force this so I don't have to devote this, and I can deluge away the tokens, and I guess I want to use the Badlands so I get to keep up green in case I draw like Leovold or something, and not a land. So we'll deluge the tokens, Brainstorm, and we will hold up Notion Thief. So the first game was not typical, okay, of how these matchups play out, but this second game is pretty typical. Once you know they're on Storm, it's a lot easier to play, especially when you get to bring in 13 cards. Mizzix's Mastery? Okay. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, let's do this. If we draw a DAC, we really want to be able to just make them discard. Not interested in those. Very much interested in that. We've taken a lot of damage this game, but we are pretty much... The corner is pretty much turned. All of their cantrips are turned off. That's fine. We can, if we draw a deck, we can steal it. Let's ponder first. We have found Mr. Faden. Let's steal the Hope of Ghirapur. And now they won't have multiple cards in their hand for the rest of the game, which is very powerful. Okay, let's ponder. Does this change the clock? So they go to 9. This potentially changes the clock. So this puts them to dead to Kolaghan's Command. So I'm pretty... I get to see 6 cards next turn, so I'm pretty okay with putting them dead to Kolaghan's Command. At least 6 cards, right? I'm interested in maximizing the cards that I see, so let's Spellbomb and Brainstorm. I don't need those. I guess I should have put back my Underground Sea. Okay. Wait. I should have also just cracked the Hope of Ghirapur. I didn't realize that I could do that. That's a good thing to know, that I could have just silenced my opponent, right? Until my next turn, yeah, I could have just silenced them, and not that they were getting anywhere with 4 mana, but anyway, that's the test matchup. I think this matchup is slightly better than Ant, but they definitely have those nut draws where they just kill you with goblins sometimes, like they tried to in game 1. But I think they're a little less consistent, and they're a little softer to discard. Not as soft to Grave Hate, though. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one.